My name is Milteri Tucker Concepcion, Bombazo Dance Company, and I'm super excited for this opportunity to be able to showcase our Puerto Rican heritage through dance and drum. Thank you so much for the invitation. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Hola, 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 dime dónde estás. Hola, 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 dime dónde vas. Que el pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Que el pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Hola, 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 dime dónde vas. Hola, 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 dame un poco más. Que el pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Que el pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. ¡Estoy! Hola, 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 hola de la mar. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. Hola, 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 dame un poco más. Hola, 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 llega para acá. Que el pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. ¡Habla, Hola, 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 hola de la mar. Hola, 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 hola de la mar. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua. El pueblo se está quemando por falta de agua.
Hi, I'm Dino Vidal, and I'm thrilled to introduce Murad Awada, the Executive Director of the New York Immigration Coalition. I've known Murad for years. I first met him when he was involved with the New York Arab American Comedy Festival. No, Murad was not a comedian, which is probably for the best, but he was volunteering, helping us out. I co-created the festival with my friend Maysoon Zayed. And over the years, though, he actually became a co-producer of the festival, understanding that the arts and non-traditional forms of activism is a way to champion immigrant communities. But it's not like Murad had to be hired in 2014 by the New York Immigration Coalition to know this. He's a child of immigrants. His parents are Palestinian immigrants. He helped his parents fill out forms. He translated for his mom. He made sure their rights were championed. And that's what he's been doing ever since in 2014, working the New York Immigration Coalition. He has remarkable results, from expanding the number of offices around the state to fighting for immigrants, ensure they're not discriminated against, and fighting against policies such as the Trump Muslim ban, and through COVID, ensuring that immigrants are being able to receive benefits from all the relief efforts that we've seen over the last year. This is who Murad is. He fights for and champions immigrants. To him, it's not a partisan issue, it's a human rights issue. It was one he was born into, to be honest. So it gives me a great pleasure and privilege to introduce my friend, Murad Awada, the Executive Director of the New York Immigration Coalition.
Thank you so much, Dean, and a big thanks to you all for tuning in. I'm honored and humbled to be named Executive Director at this incredible organization. As a child of new immigrants, I know firsthand what my immigrant brothers and sisters face every day. I remember as a child being my mother's translator when she had doctor's visits. I think about my family that was in between status because we couldn't afford the renewal fees. I think about those who interface with the criminal justice system, like my brother, who then was put in detention and deportation proceedings, ordered removed without a thought about the impact that would have on my family or community. And I think about the Herculean effort to fight back and get my brother released and his status restored. The immigrant rights movement grew out of these individual fights as a vehicle to affirm our humanity, build our strength, and ensure our voices are heard in the halls of power. This is the New York Immigration Coalition's purpose. And it's this goal that led me here and motivates me to wake up each morning to keep fighting for a better tomorrow, alongside all of you. Everyone here tonight, leaders, dear friends to our organization, our member organizations, NYIC board and staff, our Immigrant Leaders Council, and more, pulled together like never before this year for our immigrant communities through some of the most challenging of times. You are the reason why our work is possible and that we have so much to celebrate tonight. As the pandemic was wreaking havoc in immigrant communities across the state, you helped us secure and distribute nearly $2 million in funding to households shut out of nearly all financial relief from the state and federal government. This funding helped secure food for families struggling to get by while enduring quarantine, sickness, and job loss. Working alongside our 200 plus members, we became a force for change, leading on efforts like the recently passed Fund for Excluded Workers and the New York Heroes Act, bills that would ensure our immigrant communities will have access to funding much like unemployment insurance and workplace protections from COVID and other similar health concerns. We're also making big strides at the national level, helping to win inclusion, first of mixed status families in the two most recent federal stimulus packages, as well as expanding and increasing the earned income tax credit to support families to get out of poverty. Our work in the coming years to secure the health and safety of our communities, to make sure everyone is represented fairly, and to participate in our democracy, to end collaboration with ICE, and to finally, at long last, secure a pathway to citizenship for the nearly 11 million undocumented. These efforts are about achieving true equity and justice, giving everyone the same fighting chance across New York State. Injustice and inequity are barriers in all aspects of life. So for many immigrant communities, and everything our coalition works for is about evening the playing field. It's about giving immigrants and refugees and people of color across the state the same access to opportunities as everyone else. With a new federal administration in place and the redistricting process, citywide and statewide elections on the horizon, 2021 and 2022 will be critical years to push for real change, not just piecemeal reforms. This is a tall order, and we all know that the battles are constant. But tonight, let's take a moment together to celebrate the incredible work of our members, partners, staff, and allies. We are incredibly excited to be honoring someone who is a personal hero to many of us, New York State Attorney General Letitia James, as well as our Outstanding Member Organization of the Year, MASA. This year is an incredible testament to what we can do when we unite through challenging times. It's also a testament to immigrants. We always have and always will make this country great. Our work together is just getting started. To our members here tonight, we recognize you for always coming through for those who need you. To all immigrant New Yorkers here tonight, we see you. We know your resiliency. We know your power. We hear your voice, and as Executive Director, you have my word. The NYIC will make sure everyone else hears you too. So with that, please sit back and enjoy star of stage and screen, soon to reprise her role as Eliza Hamilton in Broadway's Hamilton, Crystal Joy Brown.
Thank you so much for having me. NYIC, continue to do the amazing work that you do. American oxygen. Whoa, every breath I breathe, chasing this American dream. We sweat for a nickel and a dime, turn it into an empire. Whoa, breathe in this feeling. American oxygen. American oxygen. Whoa, breathe in this feeling. American oxygen. Oh, say, can you see? This is the American dream. A young girl hustling on the other side of the ocean. But she can be anything at all in America. I say, if you can't see, just close your eyes and breathe. Breathe out, breathe in, American oxygen. Whoa, every breath I breathe in the American dream. We sweat for a nickel and a dime, turn it into an empire. Whoa, breathe in this feeling. American oxygen. American oxygen. Whoa, breathe in this feeling. American oxygen. American oxygen. Whoa, every breath I breathe, chasing this American dream. This is the new America. We are the new America. This is the new America. We are the new America.
I'm honored to reflect on the success of Attorney General James and the NYIC. And congratulations to all the honorees that will be attending your gala. And just know that I stand with you on this journey towards justice for immigrants and refugees, not just in Buffalo and Erie County in New York State, but throughout the entire nation. So congratulations to all, and thanks for including me and partnering with me on worthy policy change in my community.
And now, I'm honored and excited to welcome our 2021 Immigrant Power Champion, longtime NYIC ally, the New York State Attorney General Letitia James.
This is a time of growing diversity in our nation. The United States has long stood as a beacon of freedom and opportunity for people across the globe, and New York is the lighthouse. Immigrants have shaped the history and traditions that made New York the New York that it is today. I am honored and humbled to be the recipient of this year's Champion Award. Being Attorney General of the great state of New York has afforded me the latitude to take on some of the most important battles for the rights of immigrants. And while there has been some progress, as we all know, the immigrant community has come under blistering legal attack in recent years. For an entire presidential term, immigrants were maligned with xenophobic rhetoric and dangerous policies that I am proud to say this office and the New York Immigration Coalition fought fearlessly. And from our work to stop the federal government from adding a citizenship question to the census, to fighting back against a new public charge rule, to protecting DACA, to our lawsuit to keep ICE out of our courthouses, we have been relentless in pursuit of what is right and what is fair. And through all of it, through the barrage of prejudice and attacks, you have demonstrated an extraordinary level of resilience that I have been very proud to support. Every day, this resilience reminds us of the importance of the fight for equity and dignity, and how important it is for us to stand together in the face of injustice. And through it all, organizations such as the New York Immigration Coalition, with their new president at the helm, stepped up and made their voices heard. By providing opportunities and resources to all immigrant groups, you encourage diversity and continue the tradition of being that lighthouse in a storm for so many who seek refuge in the freedoms that we enjoy in this country. Our very own Lady Liberty says, "Give me your tired, your poor, your huddled masses yearning to breathe free. I lift my lamp beside the golden door." The New York Immigration Coalition is who meets those who knock on the door. By providing the tools, resources, and guidance to rebuild entire lives, you help encourage what we already know is true, that immigrants make our culture, our economy, and our country stronger, because being born in the United States isn't what makes you American. Our founders made sure of that. Being American means you value the freedom to be the person you are meant to be, and allow all individuals, all members of God's family, to reach their highest of heights. Thank you, and good night.
I really appreciate how the NYIC brings organizations from throughout the entire state together to work on immigration advocacy and integration campaigns.
We work together to identify how to best serve immigrants. How do we best help them to get a foot on the socioeconomic ladder in this country?
When NYIC's priorities of supporting refugees, navigating a new land, and ensuring that farm workers have basic workers' rights, it really does impact the people that elect me to be their voice in a way that helps them head towards upward mobility and improve their quality of life.
It's fighting for equal access to healthcare, equal access to representation, equal access to resources for those communities that need it the most, like our immigrant population.
I think NYC is trying to level the playing field so that immigrant New Yorkers are able to just have the same rights and access as everyone else.
If immigrants don't have rights, we don't have rights because we're all, part of the same community.
Teams that are working at our offices are relatively small, but it's the partnerships that we have with the community leaders and workers on the ground who have access to the community members that really need the help, that really make NYIC's work pretty impactful.
We won a historic $2 billion in this year's budget for a fund for excluded workers, making sure we take care of all New Yorkers and that no one is left behind in our recovery and momentous comeback.
It's been hard to see just how many people have struggled and are still struggling. And for me, economic justice is that, moving forward, what are we placing in terms of policy, in terms of laws, where we know that this won't happen again.
Hello, I'm Darren Walker, president of the Ford Foundation, and we at the Ford Foundation have been a long-standing and unwavering supporter of the New York Immigration Coalition, because we believe without justice for immigrants, there can be no justice in America. And this organization has done more to advance the rights of immigrants in New York and beyond New York. So we are so grateful, and on this occasion, celebrate the work that you do. And I just want to say how proud we are and how fortunate we feel to be able to support the visionary, pioneering work of this organization. The New York Immigration Coalition is a national model around which so many other immigrant rights groups organize their own work. So hats off, congratulations, and here's to an exciting future, a future in which immigrants have the rights that we all have, the right to live with dignity, the right to live with justice and opportunity for all. Thank you.
CCSM provides survival services and community organizing so that we can empower our community.
And we do direct support, advocacy, and organizing for and with undocumented families, with immigrants who are facing the effects of immigration enforcement or immigration policies.
The Asian American Federation works with our member agencies. And as a member agency of the NYIC, we are always engaged to ask about the issues that are impacting the Asian American community.
Thank you, NYIC. You have allowed us to pollinate throughout our communities so that we can have a long-lasting imprint.
A lot of the members and community members that come to MASA are mostly undocumented. A good majority come from rural communities in their home countries. MASA and usually is one of the first places where they feel comfortable seeking out services, usually because of word of mouth. And so MASA has really built a lot of trust, especially amongst the recently arrived immigrant communities. Right now we have a lot of volunteers. Traditionally we have volunteers from all over, but what's really been significant, empowering, and just makes me super proud is to see how our own community showed up to support and to run the food pantry, to package food.
So the operation begins at 9 in the morning. We wait for the food delivery truck to drop off what is 120 produce boxes, which are these Grow NYC boxes. We partnered with the New York Botanical Garden, who drop off additional fresh produce.
Today, for example, we have a community member who, it's her birthday, and she came.
La verdad que me impresionó mucho que el día de su cumpleaños usted vino a ayudarnos.
Al principio empecé a venir buscando mi despensa y de ahí me gustó el servicio que daban y también me gustó por eso quedarme y poder venir a ayudar.
The New York Immigration Coalition was one of the first places to be able to support MASA in distributing much needed cash that community members needed. Within 2 weeks of the city shutting down, 90% of our families were reporting that they didn't know, they were losing their jobs or had lost their jobs. They didn't know how to pay for their bills.
MASA me ayudó con la renta y me ayudó bastante.
A la comunidad siempre se le ha ayudado. No excluyen a nadie. Aquí todos los tratan por igual. Y eso es lo que nos gusta a nosotros.
MASA overall seeks to empower our Mexican, Central American, and Indigenous speaking community.
I do have MASA in my heart because it has been a great experience. It has been a teaching setting for me. I have learned so much. As an immigrant, I do know the challenges and the different barriers that we have. So I do want to be that person that can give a little bit of relief for them.
Our big goal is to be able to empower that community to speak up for itself. Thank you so much to the New York Immigration Coalition for selecting MASA to be the Member of the Year. We definitely appreciate all the work, all the support, all the advocacy that has been happening the last year, and recognize how important the New York Immigration Coalition is to uplifting the issues that immigrant communities are facing. So we want to just thank you for the support and also for the recognition. And we look forward to continuing to working together. Thank you so much once again.
The NYIC would not be where it is today without our many supporters, and we deeply appreciate every one of you. I want to take a moment to give a special shout out to one particular group of partners, our corporate and foundation partners that played a crucial role in our COVID response. When COVID-19 disproportionately struck our immigrant communities, the NYIC was able to move swift and effectively. We helped our members assist vulnerable families with basic needs such as putting food on the table, paying rent, accessing medical care, immigration counseling, PPE, you name it. And during this time, I'm really proud to say that NYIC was able to accomplish some pretty incredible things for our communities, such as distributing $4.5 million in emergency cash assistance and food insecurity relief for thousands of needy New Yorkers who were ineligible for other government benefits. And most recently, I'm happy to say that we won the Excluded Workers Fund in the New York State budget, which establishes a $2.1 billion fund to support all those workers who were excluded from unemployment benefits and other federal stimulus checks. And this money is going to be incredibly, incredibly important to support these families during this challenging time. A big thank you to all our COVID resource partners for bringing us a step closer in our fight for true equity and economic justice for all. You know, I started at the NYIC in August of 2016, and I have to say that when I started this job, I definitely thought it was going to be a much different kind of job than it turned out being. But the truth is, I can't imagine having spent the last almost 5 years anywhere else. I feel incredibly lucky and honored to have been able to work side by side with my colleagues and our member organizations to fight back against the anti-immigrant policies that were coming from Washington, D.C., and to fight through the horrible pandemic that so deeply impacted all of our families. And so that's why tonight I'm asking all of you if you can continue to support our work by generously donating using the text number that is on your screen and pinned to your chat. Thank you so much.
As a former undocumented immigrant, I have seen firsthand what the policies in our country have done to our communities, and I understand, having fought along your side for driver's licenses, for the DREAM Act, and most recently to help our excluded workers, I know that I can count on you to continue to help us.
As the daughter of immigrants, I will continue to do everything I can to ensure that all immigrants are welcome, treated fairly, and are provided with the assistance they need. And I look forward to continuing to partner with you to make sure that happens.
When we came here from Colombia, we were undocumented for many years, for many decades, and ultimately were able to get citizenship. But we know that there are financial barriers. We know that there are linguistic barriers to that. And so I would just hope for our society and our community to recognize these challenges.
I grew up with my father working 17-hour days. So I understand firsthand the difficulties that are created under the circumstances that you're in when you're undocumented, and trying to provide for your family when there's so many obstacles in your way. And that's really what's given me the passion to want to fight for people who are in those circumstances.
As a daughter of immigrants myself, I often play the role as navigator for my family within this society, and I fully recognize how challenging it is to thrive in this country. And I really see the policies that NYIC champions as having a very real impact for all stages of the immigrant experience, not just folks who've newly arrived, but for all stages of immigrants.
As the daughter of immigrants and proud state senator to the most diverse district in the entire world, I have to say firsthand that our differences really do make us great. Our beautiful languages, our delicious food, our customs from around the world are all unique and really make New York the beautiful tapestry that we are.
The New York Immigration Coalition, I think this is an organization that is absolutely vital to moving our culture forward as a community of immigrants and people coming from different world heritages. The coalition is providing so much aid to immigrants who are frontline workers, who are working in the healthcare industry and supporting us all through this pandemic. Those who are working in transportation, those who are working in education, those who are providing food and other services to us. Immigrants in New York, they add so much to our understanding of the world in terms of intellectual history and culture and literature, the fine arts, dance, music, in terms of food, in terms of philosophies. And this organization is absolutely vital to keeping that communication between different groups alive and supported.
Immigrants, we're the only reason the United States of America exists. Before we came, this country belonged to indigenous Americans until European settlers took over and then later declared independence from Britain. But sometimes it seems we've forgotten our origins and are less than welcoming to the newest immigrants to our shores. I'm a first-generation immigrant, the first in my family to pledge allegiance here. It hasn't always been easy. I don't look like either the original Americans or the white Anglo-Europeans who first populated this land. But I participate in citizenry, worked for American businesses, paid taxes, voted, created small businesses that employ Americans, and continue to teach creative writing at US colleges. All around me, I see immigrants from all over the world growing my country, enriching culture, continuing that legacy. Which is why the New York Immigration Coalition is so important. Their work ensures America will not forget our immigrant history and that we will continue to embrace immigrants now and forever under these spacious skies.
A big thank you to Shu Shi and Dr. Rita Banerjee for sharing your unique voices tonight and for your commitment to building real and lasting immigrant power. For folks here this evening, I'm thrilled to announce that Shu and Rita have generously donated signed copies of their published works, which we are giving away to a few lucky audience members tonight. We'll be messaging the winners directly to set up delivery. Both of these talented authors are with us tonight and will be part of the virtual tables. Thank you both so much. And now, join me in welcoming back Crystal Joy Brown.
You can be amazing. You can turn a phrase into a weapon or a drug. You can be an outcast or the backlash of somebody's lack of love. Or you can start speaking up. Nothing's gonna hurt you the way that words do when they settle beneath your skin, kept on the inside and no sunlight. Sometimes the shadow wins. But I wonder what would happen if you say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave with what you want to say. Just let the words fall out. Honestly, I want to see you be brave. Just want to see you. I want to see you. Innocence, your history of silence. won't do you any good. Did you think it would? Let your words be anything but empty. Why don't you tell them the truth? Say what you want to say and let the words fall out. Honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say. Just let the words fall out. And honestly, I wanna see you be brave. I wanna see you be brave. So say what you wanna say and let the words fall out. And honestly, I wanna see you be brave with what you wanna say. Just let the words fall out. And honestly, I wanna see you be brave. Thank you so much, NYIC, for having me be a part of your fantastic empowerment gala. I hope that you all dig deep into your hearts and your pockets and give to this incredible organization for the tireless work that they do. Be brave and give big.
There's a lot of things that I wish would come to fruition for our immigrant communities in the state of New York. One is decoupling our state agencies from ICE, not just because it's the right thing to do, but because it benefits all of us when we are making sure that everybody's uplifted.
If I had a wish list and I had a magic wand for immigrants and the immigrant experience, it would be that we're not antagonized, that supporting immigrants is no longer a radical idea, that it is a normalized idea.
It's something very simple of like a family being able to live out its life as an intact family without facing imminent separation, without facing fear in leaving their house each day.
Being an immigrant, being a child of immigrants, what I wish for is our community to receive the respect that we deserve.
For folks to just realize that immigrants are our community. They're friends, they're a family, and they deserve the exact access and quality of life that all of us do.
My wish for immigrants is that we can all have our needs met and that we can truly have a future where we can be happy and are not struggling and living to work, but are working to live and truly have a life that fulfills us.
It is my wish for them to always find a safe space of inclusion, because that is important. That is important to the human psyche in order to head towards the fullness of life. You need to feel like you belong where you are.
Hi, I'm Dean Obidala, and I'm back to ask you for money. Not for me, although if you want to send me money, ask Murad, he'll give you my Venmo information. No, it's for the New York Immigration Coalition. If you're watching tonight, you know how important their work is. From creating healthy communities to empowering immigrant communities to get involved in politics, to knowing their rights, to training, to fighting for economic and social justice for these communities. You also know something else. They need your help to do this work. And your help is not just watching this tonight, by donating. Whatever amount, small amounts to big, every donation is important and helpful. $10 a week ends up over $500 a year. It helps a great amount in their efforts to inform immigrants about their voting rights and civic engagement. We live in a city where 1 in 10 families go to bed hungry. Countless ones are immigrants. Your donation can help an immigrant family, help immigrant children not go to bed hungry. We have nearly 400,000 small businesses owned by immigrants. New York Immigration Coalition is training them so they understand the rules and regulations of New York City, which can be difficult to understand if you're born and educated here. They're there helping them navigate that and more. You know, my dad's a Palestinian immigrant. My grandparents on my mom's side came from Sicily. They didn't have a New York Immigration Coalition. They get by on the kindness of strangers. Well, thankfully, we have an organization that can help them to make sure they're not taken advantage of, so that they know their rights, so they have a chance for health support as well as economic and social justice. So I hope tonight you'll consider making a donation to the New York Immigration Coalition. It goes a long way to helping. Thank you.
Wow. Dean, we truly appreciate your support tonight. I want to thank you and thank Crystal Joy Brown, Gumbe Dance, Darren Walker, our Member of the Year, Masa.
Thank you once again.
Thank you guys, this was awesome.
Erie County Legislator April Baskin, Assembly Members Carinas Reyes.
Thank you, everyone.
And Catalina Cruz. Congresswoman Grace Meng, State Senator Jessica Ramos.
Thank you to you, Murad, to your entire team at the New York Immigration Coalition.
Our Text the Pledge is still open and will be for the remainder of the evening. So please, if you haven't done so already, text your pledge to the number on the screen. And to all of our guests, thank you for joining us, and we hope you are inspired to keep fighting. The evening hasn't ended yet. Our post-reception begins right now. Enjoy the opportunity to converse with our colleagues, representatives from our member organizations and staff, and learn more about what's happening at the NYIC directly from the people who are doing the work. Thanks again for joining, and stick around for the post-reception.